Good morning, everyone. From Umbria, it's a beautiful, sunny, crisp day outside, December 1st here in Umbria. I'm sitting here with our gorgeous bottle of olive oil, and we're going to talk about two things today. We're going to talk about why buy Ripalta olive oil and status on shipping. So we've gotten about 4 or 5 emails in the past couple of weeks. When is our olive oil arriving? And so I've responded to all of you individually, and I will also address timing on this call. So first we're gonna kick off, why Ripalta olive oil? Okay, so first thing, obviously we have won 2 very important international olive oil competition prizes. What you're looking at here is the London olive oil competition from 2021. We won the platinum prize, and in Berlin we won the gold prize. So olive oils do win prizes, but not every olive oil wins a prize. So look carefully, because these do count. They have panels of tasting judges who are expert, who have to be qualified to test and taste olive oil. And so it's just yet another level of qualification of the olive oil. We are, of course, DOP. You see that up there, okay? Denominazione Origine Protetta, which means it's a protected location label. We choose to use, but legally to put this here, and it's a government stamp, it's all individually numbered as well. We must use only olives from this specific region of Umbria, which are in the Orvieto Hills. And so be careful not to assume, when you see an olive oil on your grocery store shelf, be careful not to assume that that olive oil is Italian just because it says produced in Italy or Italian olive oil, because that is olive oil that's not gone through all the hoops that we go through to be DOP. So those olive oils are very often Tunisian olives, North African olives, maybe from Cyprus, maybe from Spain, maybe from Portugal. They just buy them at a low price and they mix them all together. They don't test for quality, and they press them in an Italian olive mill. And so yeah, it's okay, they are allowed to put on the label produced in Italy, but it's not Italian olives. So ours is 100% not only Italian olives, but from the hills above Orvieto. Okay, so that's really important. This label here, DOP, even more important than winning a silly international prize, okay? Really important, this DOP label. Okay, next up is our analyses. So again, why buy Ripalta? Our analyses we share with you. So ask someone who sells an olive oil that's on a grocery store shelf what their acidity is or what their polyphenol levels are. Either they won't know because they didn't do the testing, or they won't want to share with you because the quality isn't high enough. So we share with you. So for example, this year, we have a 0.18 acidity level for our DOP extra virgin olive oil. What does that mean? In the United States, you can have up to 0.8. Again, we have 0.18, much lower. In Italy, you can have up to 0.6% acidity. Again, we have much lower than that. We are 0.18. And I encourage you to ask your own olive oil producer what their acidity is and see if they'll share it with you. Our polyphenols this year are 482. Polyphenols, what are they? You can Google it. They're fantastic for human health. I get a lot of questions from people who are really interested in health. What is your polyphenol level this year? So it's an indicator that's really important. On our website, we have some sample data from 2 years ago, but what I am sharing right now is this year's data, which is 482 is our level of polyphenols. So again, sharing analyses are really important. Are they willing to share this information with you or not? Ripalta, we share because we are proud of all of the quality elements that go into producing this gorgeous bottle of olive oil. Last thing I'll mention about why to buy Ripalta, we're a small boutique producer. We're not interested in selling millions of liters of olive oil. We want to be small, stay small, maintain quality, and maintain control. So that's what's important to us. Pricing, we're obviously on the higher end, but most of that is shipping. So if you come to our door or our little shop in Alerona and you say, hey, Ellen, we want to buy a bottle of olive oil, $18.50 for a bottle the size of a bottle of wine. This is 750 milliliters. If we ship it to your door, that's another story, right? Because there's shipping, there's insurance, there are importers and exporters who by law have to be involved. So the price goes up to approximately 40 euros a bottle shipped directly to your door. But again, if you buy it directly from us, it's $18.50. Another reason that's really important to keep in mind, we don't mass ship our olive oil on boats, on ships, because we don't ship Ripalta that way, because that means they're sitting not only on ships in ports waiting to leave, but they're sitting on ships in ports waiting to get into the United States. We have no control over temperature, conditions, etc. So we don't ship that way. We express airmail directly to your door. So it's all about quality. It costs a little more if you want it shipped to your door, or come on your next Italian vacation and we'll give you the direct price. Okay, that's why Ripalta. Last thing I'll talk about is timing. Okay, so every year the timing of shipping our olive oil changes a little bit based on various factors. So let's talk about that. The actual harvest. We are completely at the mercy of nature here. We decide which day will be best because we are controlling, we're checking, we're looking in on the olives starting in the beginning, well, really September, October, we're starting to look, right? Typically, we always do the harvest at the end of October, 3rd week, 4th week. It depends on the maturity of the olive, and it also depends on the weather. So if it rains or if it's too foggy, we can't harvest because we choose not to, not because we don't mind getting wet, not because we mind getting wet, but because it creates humidity around the olive, and we don't want the olives to be harmed in any way off the branch. So as soon as they're off the branch and they have humidity, they're going to do what any organic thing does, start to rot, right? Even within a day's time. Imagine, I don't know, you cut an avocado and you leave it on the counter for an hour. It's not going to look that great. So we only harvest in dry conditions, and we every day take our olives to the press. We don't let them sit around. Okay, so that is an element of the timing in the olive oil harvest. Okay, and then we take it to the press. And the press, it just depends on quantity, time of day that we take it, who else is there pressing their olives, and so that can take some time. We also wait for our olive oil to be analyzed. So we just talked about acidity and polyphenols. We wait for the analyses, and we wait for this beautiful government certification, every bottle individually identified by the Italian government. So we bottle it, and then we initiate the import-export process, or I should say export, shipping, import process. So export from Italy, shipping to the United States, and import into the United States. So those are all the steps. Now, what's going on this year? So this is a fairly typical year. Everything's going as according to schedule. as most like the past years. We bottled last week. The oil was picked up yesterday. So any of you who've already bought your olive oil, it was picked up yesterday by our importer, okay? So it's not like FedEx comes and just picks up the oil. No, there are steps involved. So the importer comes and picks up the olive oil, and the importer chooses a shipper. So whether it's FedEx or DHL or it's out of our control, the importer chooses that. And then the shipper goes through their own processes of getting that oil from Italy to the United States. Once the shipper is in control of the olive oil, be it FedEx or DHL, they will email you to let you know that they have the oil, and they will send you email updates to let you know the status. So is out for delivery or has been delivered, those kinds of emails based on the company. So every shipping company is a little bit different. Typically, the oil arrives before Christmas. We can never guarantee this though, because all of those steps I mentioned are all out of our control. We can't decide when the government gives us this label. We can't decide when the importer picks up the olive oil. We can tell them, okay, it's ready, but we can't guarantee they come that day or the next day. So there's just so many steps in that process, and then in the shipping process and the import process. But it typically arrives in December, typically before Christmas. I don't think we've ever had anyone's oil arrive after Christmas. No. So, oh look, I've just felt down here. Here's our Berlin Gold Prize and our London Platinum Prize. Okay, anyway, and that's it. So remember, keep your olive oil in a cool, dry place. Don't keep it next to your stove, and enjoy. So I hope this video helped a little bit with understanding the ins and outs of why and status this year. Enjoy, and we can't wait to hear from you as to what you're cooking with it and where it sits on your counter or in your cupboard. So we love seeing it. Sometimes people put little Santa hats on it. It's very cute. We can't wait to start getting those messages from you. Bye everyone from Umbria. Buon pranzo.